Merry Meet and welcome to our stream, everybody. This is Ariel Gatoga, and we are streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch. This is November 19th, 2023, and this is a general reading for all signs. Moderating today on YouTube is the lovely Sarah, and moderating on Twitch is the lovely Shirley. Thank you so much, Shirley. Thank you so much, Sarah, and thank you so much to everybody for joining us today. I am reading today with this very well-loved deck of the CBD Tarot de Marseille. I'm going to purify now with the Verveine by Provence Santé. 3 sprays in this big room is more than sufficient. I much prefer it to smudging indoors with a sage stick. Don't like that smoke indoors. If you would like to skip through all the shuffling and you happen to be on a restream on YouTube, you can use the timestamp right in the video description of this video. I do not read with card reversals, by the way, so don't freak out when you see me flipping cards right side up. It's just how I like to read. If you're watching us on YouTube, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. And if you're watching on Twitch, please make sure you follow us on Twitch, and you can watch on Twitch without any ads when you subscribe to us there. This does go out to a lot of different people, so if it doesn't seem like it applies to you, don't force it. It may not be meant for you. In that case, just disregard the reading and check out the zodiacal readings for your own individual sun sign, rising sign, and or moon sign. And you can find those restreams very quickly and easily right on the website, ariels-corner.com. Ariel's Corner with a hyphen.com. Just click on the free online tarot readings link in the main menu. We have a shop at arielscornershop.com, arielscornershop.com. Tons of affiliate links there, including tarot decks. We make a small commission off of each and every sale, so we do appreciate your support. If you'd like to give us a donation, you can do that by going to the PayPal portal. You can see that URL flashing across the screen every so often. If you're on YouTube, you can always use a super sticker, super chat, or super thanks to give a donation. And if none of those strike your fancy, there's other donation options by clicking in the donations link on our main website in the footer, ariels-corner.com. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let's give this deck a nice clean cut and we'll see what's in the cards for everybody today, the 19th of November, 2023. We've got the Queen of Swords, we've got the Ace of Wands, and we've got the Page of Swords. Okay, so the ego doesn't like us having our power. The ego is threatened by our own power. Let's remind ourselves what the ego is. It's not an entity. It's not some evil force out there. It's a habit of thinking that the human race has gotten into. And that is what's symbolized by the fall of the Garden of Eden. It's just a symbol of us starting to think in ways that are separate. So separate aloneness. And the ego thought system is one based on fear. And it is, like I said, it's a habit of thinking. And it's an actual thought system. And so it's programmed to self-destruct. It's programmed to prove to you that you're not good enough. It's programmed to prove to you that you're all alone and vulnerable. And so when you get your power, it's like, oh, doesn't compute, and it goes into overdrive trying to get you to not have your power. And so a lot of times when we start feeling real activated, our egos are real activated, we start getting bitchy and complainy, or we become vulnerable to other people's misunderstandings, become vulnerable to other people's even lies and fears and things like that. It's actually a good sign. It means, oh, you must be on the right track if you activated the ego. And the thing that I want to make sure that you understand is when you start getting all upset and freaked out about stuff, look at it sometimes, it's not always the case, but today it seems to be, as an indicator of something positive, and that you have the choice to say no to those thoughts. All they are thoughts. All they are systems of thought. And you can just as easily reject those thoughts as you can accept them. And that's all that it is. And so when you are being confronted with fears or meanness, meanness or anything like that from within you, if you're being mean to yourself or other people, if you're harboring resentments, if you are, like I said, allowing yourself to be vulnerable to other people's opinions and things like that, look at it as a positive sign. Wow, I must have been on the right track, or my ego would not have been so activated, right? Because this, what this power is that the ego is trying to distract you from is your own creativity. Your own creativity. What are the things that you've been kind of like getting inspired by lately? What are the things that you've been sort of thinking, whoa, wouldn't it be cool if blah, blah, blah? Or whatever. Maybe it's even farther along than wouldn't it be cool? Maybe you've been planning some things, or maybe you've been having some grand designs in your life, been really captivated by some things, and been kind of excited and maybe inspired to take action. And then you get distracted by all this ego stuff. The ego stuff is there to distract you from succeeding, from actually having, like I said, that power. Look at all that power that you have in your hand. So don't allow your own ego mind to try to convolute everything so that you don't have what you want. Don't do that. Say thanks, but no thanks on that bridge to nowhere. So when you hear yourself getting cynical or bitchy or kind of mean to yourself or saying mean things about other people under your breath, recognize that that's simply the ego trying to distract you from the success that you were actually inspired to go toward, right? The same thing with you, like looking for information from other people that's not that accurate. Don't be vulnerable to other people's misinformation. Don't just take everything that people say at face value. That's another ego trick. When you do that, it's not that you're so vulnerable. It's that your ego wants you to think that you're vulnerable so that you don't do what you're supposed to do, what you want to do. You're supposed to do what you want to do. That's why you're here. And the ego will tell you, no, you can't do anything you want to do here. Don't believe it. Ace of coins. No wonder the ego got so upset. Look at all of that. Oh, look at you. See, it's almost like even though you're going through some of this resistance within yourself, it's almost like there's nothing that can stop you. It's like even if you put up a huge fight, I don't think you can stop this train from leaving the station. Your creativity is really on fire, and it's going to the direction where you need to go to have the happiness that you desire, the happiness that is your birthright. The happiness that is your birthright. And not only that, but the resources for you to have those things are here. They are available to you. Now, the ego, this Queen of Swords, this Miss Thing over here, who's constantly looking at why nothing is good enough, why nothing will ever work for you, why you don't deserve it, why they don't deserve it, why everything's bad and cynical, all of that kind of thinking. She, when she hears that the resources are coming, or that she gets an indicator that you're going to actually be funded to have whatever it is that you want, she's going to say, okay, well, where is it? Where is it? And that's not enough. And then she'll just get right on the bandwagon. Okay, yeah, maybe you can have some funding, and try to get you to push the river, because she knows that if you try to push the river, you might destroy that flow of abundance for yourself, right? Because of the impatience, a lot of times will at least delay, if not destroy, the flow of abundance in your life. And so don't fall for that. You don't need to push. You don't need to be impatient. That's just another delay tactic to try to get you to not have what you want. Isn't that sick what we do to ourselves? Don't feel bad about it. Everybody's got that. Everybody's got that. And our job is not to overcome the ego. Our job is not to kill the ego. Our job is not to be victorious over the ego so much as it is to disregard the ego. Just disregard those thoughts. Just notice them for what they are. I just, when I hear myself being cynical and like that, I go, oh, Queen of Swords. And I just name it. I just name her for what she is. And the naming takes all of her so-called power away from her. It's like the water on the Wicked Witch of the West. And the same thing with this guy over here, this Page of Swords. If I notice that I'm sort of being vulnerable, being hooked into all kinds of weird ideas, I just assume that that my ego mind is tuning my dial so that I go into the wrong information. I just assume that. And so what I do is I question literally everything. I literally question everything, because that's just another delay tactic for me not having what I want, is me kind of going after wrong information, going after lies, going after conspiracy theories, or whatever that is, whatever those wrong thoughts are, those untrue thoughts. That's what the valet de paix is. That's that Page of Swords. Lies, untruths, misunderstandings, half-truths, all of that. And you know how that is. You go onto the internet, you maybe go into one of those chat rooms and go onto Reddit. Does anybody know blah, 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 blah? And you get like inundated with all of this data, and so much of it is just nonsense. So much of it is just nonsense. And that's how the ego operates. It's, oh, good, let's go there. let's go learn things. So be careful of that. You don't want to learn things from bad teachers. You want to learn things from good teachers. And you absolutely know the difference. You can tell by the way you feel in your stomach. You know if your ego mind is directing you towards stupid things. So don't allow that to happen. Just assume that that's happening. Just assume that that's happening, and recognize that you're not vulnerable to that, because it's all coming from your own mind. It's all your own mind, and you have charge over your own mind. You have dominion over your own mind, even though sometimes it doesn't seem like it. Right? Sometimes it seems like, I can't control this thing. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, and you are. And what the good news is, what the ego is so afraid of is your happiness. It's very afraid of your happiness, because if you're happy, it can't function anymore. Then it sort of does die. Even though it was never really alive in the first place, it thinks it's alive, and it's got its own weird little survival instinct, just like everything does. And so it knows that if you're happy, that it won't have a function anymore, and that you won't lean on it. You won't lean on those kinds of thoughts anymore. So that's good news. And you are going to happiness. That is your goal. That is your destination. Your destiny is happily ever after. And your ego mind is going to show you and prove to you how that's absolutely impossible in this world. And don't buy it. Don't buy it. The happily ever after is not only possible, but that's where you're going. Whether your ego likes it or not, you're going to be happy. You're going to be successful. You're going to be free. All is going to be well. And there's absolutely nothing the ego can do about that. But you have to just make sure that you take charge of your own mind, and don't fall victim to cynicism. Don't fall victim to bad information. Don't fall victim to impatience to try to destroy things. Instead, recognize you are very powerful. You have literally the winning hand. You have the winning hand. And all you have to do is keep your eye on the prize. Know where you're going. Allow yourself to be at one with your own creative impulses, and recognize that your happiness is your destiny. That's your destination. That's where you're going. All right, what a wonderful reading to round off my week on. We are off tomorrow, but we start back on Tuesday. So thank you so much for being here today, and thank you so very much to the amazing moderators, Sarah and Shirley. We'll see everybody on Tuesday. Blessed be.